This happened this morning, right? This didn't happen yesterday.
Yep.
No, it happened this morning. You told me this on the morning call, or like Richard, I think, was like the Jaire thing. And so I right away was like, what happened here? And I couldn't tell if I was surprised. I'm kind of not surprised that this was the move. I don't know if I love it. I do believe he's one of the best at his position in the game. I do believe the health thing is a concern. So he has to go to the right team that's willing to sort of see that as a low risk, high reward sort of vibe. But they're releasing him after 7 seasons, 2 Pro Bowls, and he's so good and disruptive and just like a guy that you don't want to face, like ever, when he's healthy and he's out there and he's doing his thing. But he has missed double-digit games through the last season. The reason that it wasn't surprising to me is because I'll let you guys listen to it. I got to talk to Richard? What's his last name? Middle name? What's his middle name? Matthew Robert LaFleur about Jaire a couple weeks ago. Take a look.
Ja is a great player. Unfortunately, he's been kind of snake bit the last couple of years, and he's missed a lot of time. And so it's hard to play up to your potential when you're not on the grass.
I think that's really it. I don't think that was I think that's clear. I think they asked Mark Murphy on the golf course also recently, like what they, when we asked Mark Murphy when we were with him at the draft, it's the injuries that really, and we saw Albert Breer talking about, an incentive laden deal that was outlined that Jaire didn't love. Of course he didn't, it's now it just becomes, where's the place for him if it's not on the Packers? And I would have loved to see them stay together, but now the Packers, they do save $36 million in cap space over the next 2 years, which is fun for me, Matthew, because that's my money and I get to do with it what I feel as the GM. I don't know what are we looking to bring in? I don't know. I have to think about it. I haven't had this is my first 2 sips of my morning coffee. So I don't quite know what Packers I'm thinking, but I'd love to hear from Packers fans as we are, you're the owners. I'm just the GM. You guys own the team. So what do we want to do with that 36 mil in cap savings by releasing Jaire Alexander? Sadly, of course, beloved, of course, an agitator. We're going to see somewhere in the league. We'll play a little recruiting matching game with Jaire in a second, but Packers fans, please tweet me or please comment right here. We'll post this and tell me what you want with that 36 million in cap savings over the next 2 years. I got you. I'll take it to the front office. I am the front office. Same thing. Sorry. Oh, read this, they say. Packers president Mark Murphy, the reality is for the last 4 years, it's been about half of the games that he's been able to play. So we've kind of been used to it. Yeah, that was exactly what I was talking about when they approached him on a golf course. I'm glad we got the exact quote there. Thank you, Control Him, for that. As for Jaire, there is some competition on the cornerback market. That's the first. The second thing I thought was, who's still available? Because I knew when we were talking to LaFleur that like Russell Douglas was still in play. Guys who are, bona fide DPOY world champions like Stephon Gilmore still out there in free agency. But there are a lot of teams looking for corners. You can't have enough corners, especially with the way this game looks right now. My vote for landing spot for one Jaire Alexander would be the Vikings, of course. We can do the funniest thing ever here. Join forces with he who you like drawing against, he who you have, I don't know if this is bad blood or just 2 competitors who play at the best at their position, enjoying each other's company between the hash marks here. Go to the Vikings. So much has gone on between him and Minnesota over the years. They need a corner. I talked to Kevin O'Connell about that being maybe the only thing I don't love right now as far as keeping them from winning a Super Bowl. He gets a chance to play them, the Packers, twice a year. This would be perfect. Him playing, I don't even know, iron sharpening iron in practice against the Addisons and the Justin Jeffersons. I would love Jaire to stay in that division and go, and honestly be on the team or go against. I mean, maybe like Lions have invested a lot in their corner, so that's not going to happen. Chicago, no, it's got to be, you just got to join forces with Justin Jefferson and see how that goes. You know who else would be funny? The Panthers. Funniest move ever. Welcome to the whole coin tossy thing. Jaire from Charlotte, love that for him. And if we're talking like actual X's and O's, I mean, he's like, I feel like I'm from here. I represent it. Go be there. Go be there with JC Horn. That's a nice little 1-2, nice little tandem. What they're trying to do, revamping a defense. We could see him fill Ramsey's shoes in Miami, right? you get Stephon Diggs twice a year. They don't like each other. Could he join the Bengals? I always should have wedge them in here somewhere. Like, can we? I wouldn't mind seeing him against Rodgers in those AFC North battles. Who else am I missing? Where should Jaire go? Really, what did I say on the call, Ham? That he'd go?
You said
My first landing spot outside of
your first.
Philly.
Oh yes, Philly. Yes, joining up with the defending champs. That is it. That is a spot that makes some sense. I'm not necessarily that they need him, but it fits in your like going somewhere where it's a bonus if he's healthy, but it doesn't destroy you if he's not.
They've got the exciting whites. They've got they've got youth. They've got that. But why? But like, can't you just see Jaire not even playing on a full complement of snap or whatever the deal is? That like how he's happy, they're happy, whatever. He's playing with like a crazy contender, and he just goes out there and makes like that game-breaking play in some meaningful, crazy ass game against the Commanders, and like he gets, I don't even know Jalen Lane's number, like well, whatever it is. Like I could just see the play in my head where it's like, oh, that's why they brought him in here to do that and make that. Can't you see it? I can see him, and he gives Philly. He gives Philly.
Absolutely. And especially with, Fangio would probably love getting his hands on him.
Yeah.
It allows him to use some of those other pieces, take advantage of the versatility he has with Cooper DeJean and some of those other pieces. It does make a lot of sense. I also do want to point out to your Panthers point, they do play at Lambeau this year too. So that would also give him a chance to take on the Packers. I
don't think there's bad blood there. I just do think that like it's always bad blood with Jaire in the best way possible. Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know that like him going up against, like, I think I like to think that he's everyone's villain. He's one of those, it's also that position. You want like the antics and the feisty, you sort of inherit that with the kind of player that they are, the disruptor, the guy who's just going to like talk mess the entire 4 quarters. So I don't think that like anybody who's like, we don't want him. No, you want him. Like all these fan bases that are like, we don't want him. You want, like, you idiots, you want him. You don't want to play against him. Actually, you should be looking, if you don't need to, you should not want to have to face him twice a year. Nobody does. It's not fun. It's not fun for anybody, but loaded free agent. We had this little talk on the morning meeting, like who would you rather have if you're Minnesota, right? You need corner help, you're a contender. Do you want Jalen Ramsey? I mean, there's a lot of connections to KOC, or do you want Jaire? I don't know the answer. what would you say? Injuries would sort of be in my head about adding Jaire, like every front office right now.
Yeah, that's what would tip the scales to me, because Jalen, is going to be, I mean, you never know, but has a better track record of his availability versus Jaire. The injury thing is a real concern. If you can guarantee me that they're both going to stay healthy, I might lean Jaire at this point, but that's so far with 3 of the last 4 years suffering the types of injuries that he has. That's a serious concern.
We have to get Jaire on the show.
Yeah.
Jaire, will you please come on the show?
That would be awesome.
Have we never had him on the program? We haven't.
I don't think we have. Oh.
I remember he screamed my name at practice and we were there at training camp, but then would not come over. He would not come over and hang out with us, which rude, but now you're not a Packer anymore. So let's find you a great home. Jaire, please come on the show. Big fans here on Up and Adams. We should try to make that happen.